The massive council station hung in space like a jewel, its curved arms twinkling with lights from 1,000 different worlds. Captain James Walker stood at the bridge of the Harmony *, Earth's first faster-than-light vessel, and allowed himself a moment of pure wonder. Humans had dreamed of this moment for centuries. First contact with the galactic community. "Captain, we're receiving docking instructions," said Lieutenant Davis from the communication station. "They're guiding us to Bay 17. James nodded. "Follow their lead, Lieutenant. Let's not make any mistakes today." Anna Reeves stood beside him, smoothing down her diplomatic uniform for the 5th time in as many minutes. As Earth's chosen representative, the weight of humanity's future rested on her shoulders. "Nervous?" James asked quietly. Anna smiled. "Terrified, but excited too. Do you realize we're the first humans to meet aliens who aren't visiting us? We're the visitors now." The Harmony * glided toward the massive station. The ship was beautiful, sleek white curves and blue highlights, designed to look peaceful and advanced. Humanity had poured its hopes and resources into this vessel and this mission. As they approached the station, James noticed something odd. "That's strange. There are a lot of military vessels around for a diplomatic welcome." Anna frowned. "Maybe it's their version of an honor guard." The ship docked with a gentle bump. Anna took a deep breath. "Showtime, Captain." They walked together down the boarding ramp, a small team of diplomats and scientists behind them. The docking bay was huge, with high ceilings and strange symbols etched into the metal walls. Waiting for them was a delegation of aliens, each species more bizarre than the last. A tall blue-skinned being with 4 arms stepped forward. "I am Council Speaker Marn. Welcome to Council Station Alpha, humans." Anna stepped forward with a practiced smile. "Speaker Marn, I am Anna Reed, representing Earth and all humanity. We come in friendship and hope for a peaceful relationship between our worlds." The alien's face remained expressionless. "Follow me to the council chambers. The High Committee is waiting." James felt a prickle of unease as they were led through winding corridors. The aliens they passed stopped to stare at the humans, but none looked welcoming. Some even backed away, as if afraid. The council chamber was a vast arena with tiered seating, filled with representatives from dozens of species. At the center stood a raised platform where 7 beings sat behind a curved table. One of them, a reptilian creature with gleaming scales, watched the humans with particular interest. "The human delegation may approach," announced Speaker Marn. Anna walked forward confidently, but stopped when a harsh voice cut through the chamber. "Why do we waste time with these formalities?" The reptilian being stood. "I am Commander Trell of the Council Defense Force. Let us speak plainly." Anna nodded cautiously. "We appreciate directness, Commander." Trell's mouth curved into what might have been a smile. "Then let me be direct. We have been observing Earth for centuries. Your kind is violent, unpredictable, and dangerous. You've developed faster than light travel centuries before our models predicted." Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Anna's diplomatic training kicked in. "All species have violent histories, Commander. Humans have learned from ours. We come in peace." "Peace?" Trell hissed. "Your entertainment glorifies war. Your history is written in blood. Even now, you arm yourselves against imagined threats." "With respect," James interrupted, stepping forward. "Humanity has united more in the last century than ever before. We've overcome many of our worst impulses." Trell turned to the other council members. "These humans believe they were exploring the stars of their own accord. They do not realize we have been containing them within their system. The barrier we created was meant to last another 300 years, time for them to mature as a species. Yet here they stand before us." Anna's face paled. "Containing us? You've been restricting our movement in our own solar system. By what right?" "By the right of the Council to protect this galaxy from dangerous species," Trell said coldly. "And now we face a problem. One human ship has broken through. How many more will follow? We came to establish peaceful relations, Anna insisted, her voice rising. You had no right to contain us without our knowledge or consent. The other council members shifted uncomfortably, but none spoke against Trell. The commander moved closer, towering over the humans. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility hidden from satellite surveillance, 23 of Earth's most powerful leaders gathered around a circular table. The room was silent except for the gentle hum of air filtration systems. On a large screen at the front of the room, they had just watched the last transmission from the Harmony before it was destroyed. General William Harris slammed his fist on the table. They murdered our people. 154 of our best. Gone. And now we know why our deep space probes kept failing, said Dr. Emily Torres, head of Earth's space agency. It wasn't mechanical failure. These aliens were containing us like animals in a zoo. President Robert Jackson stood up slowly. His face was grim, but his voice remained steady. We all feared this might happen. That's why we had a backup plan. He looked across the table. Admiral Gibson, it's time for Project Prometheus. Admiral Thomas Gibson nodded and pressed a button on his tablet. The screen changed to show a massive underground hangar. Inside sat a ship unlike the Harmony where the diplomatic vessel had been white and blue with smooth curves. This ship was black and angular. It bristled with weapon systems and armor plating. Its hull gleamed under the hangar lights like the scales of a predator. Ladies and gentlemen, Gibson said, the Earth warship Retribution *. The room fell silent as they stared at humanity's insurance policy. While the world watched us build the Harmony as a symbol of peace, Gibson continued, the military alliance quietly constructed this. The Retribution * incorporates everything we learned from the crashed alien ships in the last century, combined with human innovation. What are its capabilities? Asked the Chinese premier. Gibson touched his tablet again. The screen showed technical specifications. It's twice as fast as the Harmony *. Its hull is made of a composite material that can absorb incredible amounts of energy. The weapon systems include railguns, energy beams, and missile arrays. It carries a crew of 200, all military personnel with scientific backgrounds. And who commands this vessel? Asked the Russian president. A door at the back of the room opened, and a woman in a crisp naval uniform walked in. She had the same eyes as Anna Reed, but where the diplomat had been soft-spoken, this woman carried herself with unmistakable military bearing. Captain Morgan Reed, Gibson introduced her. Anna's sister. Morgan's face was a mask of controlled emotion. I just watched my sister die, murdered by the aliens who claimed to be protecting the galaxy from us. Her voice was steady, but her eyes burned. I am requesting permission to take the Retribution * to the council station. Several leaders began speaking at once, their voices overlapping. This could start an interstellar war. We don't know how many species they have. What if they come to Earth? President Jackson raised his hand for silence. Captain Reed, what exactly are you proposing? Morgan stood straight. A measured response, sir. I will take the Retribution * to council space and demand justice for the Harmony *. I will show them that humans cannot be contained or bullied. But I will not fire first. I will not massacre civilians. I will show them that humans are capable of both strength and restraint. They might not give you a choice, the Japanese Prime Minister said quietly. Then they will learn what happens when humanity is pushed too far, Morgan replied. But they will also learn that we are not the monsters they believe us to be. Admiral Gibson moved to stand beside her. The Retribution * was built for this day. We always knew that peaceful first contact was just one possibility. Captain Reed's crew has been training for 3 years. They're ready. President Jackson looked around the table. We need to vote. Are we sending the Retribution *? One by one, the leaders gave their consent. some reluctantly, some eagerly, but all understanding that humanity had to respond. "Captain Reed," Jackson said finally, "you have your orders. Show restraint when possible. Seek diplomatic solutions if they're offered. But make it clear that humanity will not be imprisoned in our own solar system." Morgan nodded sharply. "Yes, sir." "Launch is scheduled for 600 tomorrow," Gibson added. "The public will be told it's an experimental deep space probe. No one outside this room knows about the *retribution*. As the meeting ended, Morgan stayed behind. She approached the screen and touched the frozen image of the *Harmony* exploding. "I'll make this right, Anna," she whispered. The next morning, deep in the Pacific, massive underwater doors slid open. The *retribution* rose from its hidden berth, water cascading from its dark hull. Unlike the public ceremony that had sent off the *Harmony*, this launch was witnessed only by essential personnel. The darkness of space stretched out before the *retribution*. Like an endless sea, Captain Morgan Reed stood on the bridge, watching the stars blur past on the main view screen. They had been traveling for 3 days now, pushing the new FTL drive to its limits. Her crew worked quietly at their stations, each aware of the weight of their mission. "Captain," called Lieutenant Ray Peters from the science station, "ATLAS has completed the battle simulations based on what we saw happen to the *Harmony*. Morgan turned to the holographic display that appeared beside her. Atlas, the ship's artificial intelligence, showed itself as a simple blue sphere pulsing with light. "Show me," Morgan ordered. The display changed to show various combat scenarios. The *retribution* against different combinations of alien vessels. Based on the weapons signature that destroyed the *Harmony*, I predict a 78% success rate against similar vessels. Atlas reported, its voice calm and measured. "However, we have insufficient data on the full capabilities of Council military forces." Commander Wilson frowned at the display. "So we're flying blind into potentially hostile territory." "Not completely blind," Morgan said. "But yes, we're at a disadvantage. Atlas, continue running simulations as we gather more data." "Yes, Captain," the AI replied before its hologram faded. Morgan returned to the captain's chair, her mind racing with possibilities. Their orders were clear but dangerous. Show strength but restraint. Demand justice but avoid war if possible. The fate of Earth might depend on the decisions she made in the coming days. "Captain," called out the sensor officer suddenly, "I'm picking up energy readings approximately 2 light hours ahead. It appears to be weapons fire." Morgan straightened in her chair. Tactical display. The view screen shifted to show a distant battle. A small merchant vessel was being pursued by 3 smaller ships. Even at this distance, they could see the merchant ship was damaged, trailing debris and venting atmosphere. "Pirates," Wilson said grimly. "They're hunting that merchant vessel." Morgan's orders were to maintain stealth and proceed directly to Council space. Any contact with alien vessels risked exposing their mission prematurely. The logical choice was clear. "How long until we're in range?" she asked instead. Wilson looked at her in surprise. "Captain, our orders." "How long, Commander?" "At maximum speed. 4 minutes." Morgan nodded. "Weapons, prepare to lock onto those attacking vessels. Communications, prepare a standard warning. We'll give them 1 chance to withdraw." "Captain," Wilson said quietly, stepping closer, "this isn't our mission. We need to stay hidden until we reach the Council." Morgan met his gaze. "If we turn away while innocent lives are in danger, we prove Trell right about humanity. I won't let that happen." She turned to the bridge crew. "Battle stations. Engage stealth systems until we're in striking range." The *retribution* surged forward, its advanced engines pushing it faster than any human vessel had ever traveled. In minutes, they closed the distance to the battle. "Dropping out of FTL in 3, 2, 1, announced the helm officer. The asterisk retribution asterisk materialized like a dark shadow behind the pirate vessels, its stealth systems making it nearly invisible against the backdrop of space. The pirates, focused on their prey, didn't notice the human warship until it was too late. "Open a channel," Morgan ordered. "All frequencies." The communications officer nodded. "Channel open." Morgan stood tall. "Attention attacking vessels. This is Captain Morgan Reed of the Earth warship asterisk retribution asterisk. Cease your attack immediately and withdraw, or we will open fire." There was a moment of silence. Then a harsh voice answered. "This is not your concern, unknown vessel. This merchant violated trade agreements. We are authorized to collect compensation." "Your compensation looks like murder from here," Morgan replied coldly. "Final warning. Withdraw now." The pirate vessels began to turn, reorienting toward the asterisk retribution asterisk. The asterisk retribution asterisk hovered at the edge of Council space, its advanced stealth systems rendering it nearly invisible against the backdrop of stars. On the observation deck, Captain Morgan Reed stood with Dex, watching a small border outpost through the reinforced windows. The alien station glowed with colorful lights, unaware of the human warship lurking nearby. "That's Border Post Sigma 9, Dex explained, pointing with one of his 4 arms. "All ships entering Council space must register there. It's also a military listening post." Morgan studied the station carefully. "What kind of defenses does it have?" "Minimal. Some point defense systems, a small hangar with 4 patrol ships." Dex's large eyes blinked slowly. "It's not built for combat. It's built for monitoring." Morgan nodded. "Then it's perfect for our needs." She tapped her communication device. "Commander Wilson, meet me in the command center with our intelligence team." 10 minutes later, Morgan stood before a holographic display of the border station. Around her were Wilson, Lieutenant Peters, and their new alien ally. "Atlas," Morgan called. "Begin intercepting and decoding all communications from that station." The eye's blue sphere pulsed in acknowledgement. "Working, Captain." "Their encryption is complex but familiar. I can access approximately 62% of their communications." "Start with military channels," Morgan ordered. "I want to know what they're saying about Earth." They waited in tense silence as Atlas worked. After several minutes, the AI spoke again. "I have intercepted something concerning, Captain." Forwarding to the main display. The hologram shifted to show an alien text with translation below. Morgan read it aloud. "Expeditionary force preparations at 73% completion. Estimated departure to Sol system in 14 standard cycles. Primary objective, neutralize potential human FTL capabilities and establish permanent containment measures on planet designate Earth." The room fell silent. Dex's skin paled to a lighter shade of green. "They're planning to attack Earth," Wilson said grimly. Morgan's face hardened. "They're planning to try." She turned to Dex. "How big would this expeditionary force be?" Dex looked troubled. "Based on standard Council protocols for containing potentially dangerous species, at least 20 warships, possibly more." "And time conversion?" Morgan asked. 14 standard cycles is approximately 18 Earth days, Peters supplied. Morgan studied the message again. "So they don't know about us yet. They think they have time." She straightened her uniform. "That gives us the advantage." "What's our next move, Captain?" Wilson asked. "We continue toward the Council station as planned, but first." Morgan looked at the border outpost again. "We need more intelligence. Atlas, identify the data storage centers in that station." "Located, Captain," the AI replied. "Their main servers are in the central hub." "Good. Prepare a stealth probe. I want to extract every piece of military data they have without being detected." As her crew moved to carry out her orders, Morgan turned to Dex. "I need to know everything about Council military protocols. Their weaknesses, their command structure, everything." Dex nodded solemnly. "Commander Trell leads their military. He has been pushing for Earth's containment for decades. Why? Morgan asked. What makes him fear humans so much? Your adaptability, Dex replied. Most species evolve toward specialization. The Vorn are natural diplomats but physically weak. The Kazakh are powerful warriors but rigid in thinking. Humans. He gestured at Morgan with multiple hands. Humans are a little of everything. You adapt quickly. Your history shows incredible technological growth in short periods. That terrifies species like Trells. Morgan considered this as she watched her crew work. Within an hour, the stealth probe had been launched and successfully infiltrated the border station systems. Data extraction complete. Atlas announced. I have full schematics of Council military vessels, patrol routes, and... The AI paused. Captain, I've detected unusual energy readings near the border station. Morgan frowned. What kind of readings? Scout ships, Atlas replied. They appear to be investigating an anomaly. I believe they may have detected trace emissions from our probe. Can they track it back to us? Wilson asked, concerned. Negative, Atlas said, but they are moving to investigate the sector. Morgan made a quick decision. Weapons, lock onto those scout ships. Use the gravity weapons. They'll leave no trace. Captain, Wilson said quietly, those pilots may have no idea what's happening. They're just following orders. The Council station loomed ahead, a massive structure of gleaming metal and pulsing lights. It was 10 times the size of any space station humans had ever built, with various sections jutting out like the spokes of a wheel. Hundreds of ships moved around it in carefully orchestrated patterns, like bees around a hive. From the bridge of the Retribution still cloaked and undetected, Morgan Reed studied the station through narrowed eyes. This was where her sister had died. This was where the Council had revealed their true opinion of humanity. Their defenses are impressive, Commander Wilson noted, looking at the tactical display. Energy shields, weapon platforms, patrol vessels, much stronger than the border outpost. But nothing we can't handle, Morgan replied. Atlas, identify the diplomatic quarter. The AI highlighted a section of the station. The diplomatic quarter is located in the upper ring. Council chambers are in the central hub. Morgan nodded, then turned to Dex. And where would the military command center be? Lower levels, Dex said, pointing to the bottom section of the station. Commander Trell will be there, directing the fleet preparations. Morgan tapped her fingers against the command console, thinking. Her orders were to seek justice while showing restraint, to demand recognition of Earth's sovereignty without starting an interstellar war. The safest approach would be to remain cloaked, gather more intelligence, and strike only military targets. But that wouldn't send the right message. Lieutenant Peters, she said suddenly, what is the current status of the diplomatic quarter? Peters consulted his screen. According to intercepted communications, there's a full council session in progress. Representatives from all 57 member species are present. A cold smile formed on Morgan's lips. Perfect. That's our target. Wilson looked alarmed. Captain, you're not suggesting we fire on the diplomatic quarter? No, Morgan said firmly. I'm suggesting we show ourselves there, in full view of every species in the council. Her officers exchanged nervous glances. It's risky, Wilson warned. They'll have time to bring weapons to bear. That's what our shields are for, Morgan replied. She straightened her uniform and looked around the bridge. This isn't just about military victory. This is about making a statement. The Council believed they could destroy our ship, and no one would know. They thought they could contain us like animals. They were wrong, and I want every species in that chamber to know it. After a moment, Wilson nodded. Understood, Captain. Morgan turned to the helm officer. Take us in. Maintain stealth until we're directly outside the diplomatic quarter. Then disengage cloaking on my mark. The Retribution glided silently through space, invisible to the station's sensors. It passed by patrol ships without detection, slipping through gaps in the defensive grid with precision that would have been impossible without Atlas's calculations. Finally, they reached position. "We're in place, Captain," the helm officer reported, directly outside the main viewport of the council chambers. Morgan took a deep breath. This was the moment that would define humanity's place in the galaxy. She thought of Anna, her sister who had come in peace only to be murdered. She thought of Earth, unaware that their fate was being decided in these distant stars. "Disengage stealth systems," she ordered. "Open all communication channels to the station. Activate external illumination." Outside in the void of space, the Retribution suddenly appeared as if from nowhere. Its black hull absorbed starlight, but the edges glowed with blue energy from its propulsion systems. The ship was massive, angular, and unmistakably built for war. But unlike the aggressive designs of Council military vessels, there was an elegance to it, a deadly beauty that spoke of careful engineering and purpose. Inside the council chambers, the first sign that something had changed was the sudden darkening of the room as the ship blocked the stars. Then panicked voices rose as representatives pointed to the viewport. "Weapons are tracking us," Wilson reported calmly. "Their defense grid is activating." "Shields at maximum," Morgan ordered. "But do not return fire unless I command it." She nodded to the communications officer. "Open the channel." On every screen throughout the station, Morgan's face appeared. She stood tall in her captain's uniform, her expression stern but composed. "I am Captain Morgan Reed of the Earth Warship Retribution *", she announced, her voice ringing through the council chambers. "You murdered my sister, diplomat Anna Reed, and 153 other humans who came to you in peace." The council chambers had descended into chaos. Representatives from dozens of species argued loudly, some demanding immediate military action against the human vessel, others calling for caution. Through it all, the Retribution hung outside the station's viewport, a dark reminder of humanity's unexpected arrival. Commander Trell pushed through the crowd, his scales gleaming under the emergency lights. "This is what I warned you about," he shouted over the noise. "Humans are too dangerous to be allowed into galactic society." But not all were convinced. An elderly representative with pale blue skin and elongated features rose from his seat. "Elder Vorn of the ancient Vorn Collective, one of the founding species of the Council." "Yet they have not fired upon us," Vorn observed, his voice carrying a natural authority that quieted the room. "Their ship absorbs our attacks, but does not return fire. Curious behavior for these supposedly violent beings." Trell hissed in frustration. "It's a trick. They want us to lower our defenses." On the bridge of the Retribution *, Morgan watched the debate unfold through the station's internal feeds that Atlas had hacked. She saw the division forming among the council members and recognized an opportunity. "Captain," Wilson reported, "their weapons continue to target us. Shields holding at 87%. Morgan nodded. "Maintain position. Do not return fire." The communications officer looked up. "Captain, we're receiving a request for a private channel from someone inside the station. They identify themselves as Elder Vorn of the Vorn Collective." Morgan raised an eyebrow. "Accept it, but keep it visible to the bridge." A moment later, the elderly alien's face appeared on a secondary screen. Unlike Trell's aggressive posture, Vorn's expression seemed almost curious. "Captain Reed," he said in a calm voice, "your display of restraint is unexpected." "Not all humans match the description Commander Trell has given you," Morgan replied evenly. "We can be warriors when needed, but we prefer peace." "Yet you come in a warship," Vorn noted. "Because our peaceful ship was destroyed," Morgan countered. "We learned our lesson." The elder studied her for a moment. "Many members of the council were not informed about the destruction of your first vessel. Trell claimed it was a necessary security action, and the details were classified. Your arrival has created questions." Morgan's eyes narrowed. "Then perhaps it's time for some answers." She gestured to someone off-screen, and a moment later, Dex stepped into view. Vorn's eyes widened. Captain Dex of the Trading Guild. I witnessed human compassion firsthand, Elder Vorn, Dex said earnestly. The asterisk retribution asterisk saved my crew from pirates when they could have remained hidden. They risked their mission to help strangers. On the main viewer, Morgan could see the council chambers growing more divided. Many representatives were now openly challenging Trell, demanding explanations about the asterisk harmony's asterisk destruction. Captain, Wilson warned, more ships are moving into attack position. Morgan checked the tactical display. 12 council military vessels were now surrounding the asterisk retribution asterisk, weapons hot. She had expected this, but hoped for a diplomatic breakthrough before things escalated further. In the council chambers, Trell had finally lost patience. Enough debate, he roared. The human vessel poses an existential threat to this station and everyone aboard. I am invoking Emergency Protocol 7. A ripple of alarm spread through the chamber. Emergency Protocol 7 granted military authority over the entire station during a crisis. You go too far, Trell, Elder Vorn protested. This is not. Guards, Trell interrupted, escort the Elder and anyone who opposes this action to secure quarters. Now, as security forces moved toward Vorn and his supporters, Morgan realized the situation was deteriorating rapidly. She needed to act. At last, she commanded, prepare electromagnetic pulse systems. Target the weapons platforms only. Minimal power. Electromagnetic systems ready, Captain, the eye replied. Around the asterisk retribution asterisk, the council ships moved into final attack positions. On the communication channel, Trell's face appeared once more, twisted with hatred. Now we realize that same adaptability makes you valuable allies, Vorn said. Your unique perspective has already begun changing council policies. The reforms being implemented now have been discussed for centuries, but it took humanity's arrival to force action. Morgan looked out at the stars. So what happens when we return to Earth? When more human ships join the retribution in space, Vorn made a sound that might have been a chuckle. The universe will never be the same, but I believe it will be better. 2 days later, Morgan stood on the bridge of the retribution as final preparations were made for their journey home. Ambassador designates from 10 different species were aboard, ready to establish proper relations with Earth. Course plotted for the Sol system, announced the helm officer. All diplomatic personnel are aboard, added Wilson. We can depart whenever you're ready. Morgan took one last look at the council station through the view screen. What had begun in tragedy had ended in triumph, not through superior firepower, but through the uniquely human combination of strength and compassion. Take us home, she ordered quietly. The retribution turned gracefully and accelerated away from the station, its dark hull gleaming in the light of unfamiliar stars. In its wake, it left a changed galaxy, one where humanity had finally taken its rightful place among the spacefaring civilizations. And in a quiet moment as Earth's star grew larger on the view screen, Morgan whispered words meant only for her sister's memory. We did it, Anna. We made it matter. The universe had held its breath when humanity's warship arrived. Now it exhaled, forever changed by the encounter.